Hello, and welcome to In Depth with TommieMedia. I'm Angeline Terry. Where some see graffiti, St. Thomas professors see a gallery, and that led to the ongoing Urban Art Mapping Project, which will soon be exploring art related to gentrification. The project's existing databases, which will soon be consolidated onto one site, document street art that features messages about COVID-19, anti-racism, and the ecological crisis. It was originally launched in 2018 by professors Heather Sheary, Paul Laura, and Todd Lawrence as a way to document art in the Midway neighborhood. English professor Todd Lawrence joins us today to talk about the Urban Art Mapping Project. Professor Lawrence, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So how do you anticipate that the upcoming gentrification database will build on the progress of the first three databases in the Urban Art Mapping Project?
Well, we've already been doing work on gentrification in St. Paul in the neighborhood of Midway. So we, in a way, will be sort of picking up work that we've already been doing before COVID-19 and before George Floyd's murder. This database will use the same kinds of approach to the work that we've used in the other databases. And it's really sort of a similar kind of effort to catalog and preserve street art, which is ephemeral, and to make it available for people to be able to see and to use for study, use for educational purposes and research.
Yeah. All existing databases are open to public submissions through the contribution tab. How has this feature helped to expand the project and get it to now over 3,000 entries?
Well, it's been crucial. I mean, it's really the main way that we have gotten pieces for all the databases. The COVID-19 database sort of started off where we were kind of looking and seeing art online and social media and sort of reaching out to artists and getting them to submit their pieces. But when George Floyd was killed and we decided to do a database around the art that came up after the uprising, we realized like there was so much art, not just in the Twin Cities, but around the world. And the only way for us to be able to get at that art was to ask people to help us. So the crowdsourcing has been really vital to growing the database the way that it has grown. And amazingly, I mean, I think we thought when we started both of these databases and even the subsequent ones that they wouldn't, maybe 200 pieces or something like that would be where it would go and then it would end. It hasn't stopped yet. We're still getting large submissions, like people just sending us, folders filled with images that they've taken. And the art itself hasn't stopped. So people are still doing art around these issues all around the world. And as long as they're doing that, we're going to keep collecting it.
Wow, so it really surpassed your expectations.
Oh, and pretty much in every way. In every way, yeah.
So, according to Minnesota Public Radio, art honoring George Floyd has been removed from its original location and displayed at Phelps Field Park. What's the significance of removing street art from its original location, and how do you anticipate that the Urban Art Mapping Project might help to preserve some of that art within its original context?
Yeah, so I think maybe you're talking about the art that was displayed by Memorialize the Movement in Phelps Park. So there are a couple of organizations in the Twin Cities that are actually collecting physical art, like boards that art was painted on during and after the uprising. And that's one kind of preservation for us. What we do is digital preservation, right? So we're collecting images. And so our collection is unique in that the images show the art in context, right? So they show it on buildings, they show it on signposts or on the street itself, wherever it originally was located. And so, for example, with Memorialize the Movement and Save the Boards, those two organizations that collect physical boards, we have connected with them, and sort of our hope is to connect their physical boards and digital images of those, which images that we might have of those boards in their original locations where they were, a year and a half ago.
Yeah, definitely. And the anti-racist street art database and the other original databases have been used as an educational tool in the classroom. Mm-hmm. How would you, as a professor yourself, hope that the consolidated database in one place might be used in the classroom across disciplines?
Well, we hope, we're hoping to launch this kind of digital hub database, urbanartmapping.org, which it already exists, but it's kind of not a very good website right now. And so we've got a student who's working on it and totally redesigning the whole thing, and she's doing an amazing job. And so we hope that it'll be a place where students and researchers can go and get information. They can find things like interviews that we've done. They can see maps that we've made. And of course, they can access the databases that have all of the entries with all of the metadata. You know, it's more than just images. It's, you know, where the things are located. If we know the artist, that information is there. We know who took the picture. That information is there. We've written descriptions for everything. We've tagged everything. So there's a lot of information that we think will be really useful to people in those different areas.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
If you have a topic that you would like covered on In Depth, tweet us at TommieMedia. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for all the latest TommieMedia videos. With Professor Todd Lawrence, I'm Angeline Terry. We'll see you next time we go in depth on TommieMedia.